Hello everybody, Dr. Rick Wallace dropping in on you, out running some errands, trying to get some things done before I approach my weekend. So moving around and decided to shoot. I'm forced to do a lot of that lately. When I'm in the office, there are so many things pulling at me that need to be done that it's digging into the time that I would normally do a lot of videos. And so that has put me in a situation where I'm doing videos while I'm moving around in the truck, outside of the noise of riding in an SUV, and other than that, it's quiet. Nobody's talking, nobody's asking. Of course, at any given time, baby can give me a call, which will always interrupt the video, but since it's a recording and not live, no big deal. I can always edit it and splice and do what I need to do to get this to you as one piece. The first thing I want to do is I want to talk to you about the importance of supporting the work that we're doing at the Odyssey Project. I talked to you about this, probably according to those that I work with, not enough, but I talk to you about this periodically, the importance of supporting our work. We do so much outside of the programs that I've designed. We do a great deal of research spearheaded and headed by me that allow us to create programs, allow us to address issues from an educated perspective, allow us to offer solutions and strategies for the enigmatic issues that we face. Being ahead of the game in thought and strategy is immensely important in the quest to liberate our people, and that liberation always begins with the mind. And so there's work that needs to be done in the area of research. There's work that needs to be done in program development, program design, program implementation and facilitation, and so much more, whether it's Black Men Lead, whether it's restoring Ghettos Forgotten Daughters, whether it's our focus and emphasis on rebuilding the Black family nucleus, something that Marion and I are both passionate about. It requires resources, and so we're asking you guys to actually reach out and touch bases with us and to support, whether it's simply clicking the link and giving, whether it's giving through our Cash App account, or if it's actually touching bases with us and offering your resources as an expert or a professional in an area that you know we're operating in. Also, we want you to reach out and touch bases with us and let us know people who you think need our services. We get those calls daily, and we service them as effectively, efficiently, and quickly as we possibly can based off of the resources that we have. We are having a major push in dealing with mental health issues, and I am literally spending a bunch of my time in that area. We definitely need to create a greater capacity to deal with that in our community, because it has always been an issue, and that is being exacerbated by the additional stressors that are currently present by way of economic strain due to COVID, by a bunch of different policies that are being implemented that directly impact our youth in school, as well as Black men and women in the workforce and academia. We need your support. With that being said, I'm going to move on to the next topic. For those of you who have followed me for any time, you are completely familiar with my position on who Kamala Harris is and has always been. I have not shied away from it. I am not in the practice of appeasing the emotional desires of people for the sake of getting along. I am very, very committed to being open, honest, and veracious in how I report things, how I research things, how I disseminate what I've researched, And so you're clear on how I feel about her. I've stressed it. There are a number of videos, there are articles, so there should be no question what my position is. I have been accused of attacking and attempting to tear down a black woman. While there's no true reasoning behind it, the emotional idea that just simply being black, that inherent, almost inherent need for black people to see black faces in high places, regardless of whether they are delivering on tangibles or not, makes people emotional and think holding someone accountable for what they have actually done is not attacking them. It is not an attempt to tear them down. It is holding them accountable. I don't believe that in any situation anyone should be exempt from accountability. It's starting with me. Anything that I need to be given answer and account for, if it's someone that I'm representing, someone I'm asking to trust me, someone I'm asking to give me a situation and an opportunity to represent them in any way or to hire me or anything, then I have to hold myself accountable for my past record, good or bad. Anybody can make mistakes. Anybody can have a time in thinking that their philosophy is not conducive to a situation that later in life they may switch positions on. My thing is, you got to show me where you're at now and tell me why you did what you did in the past and what you're doing differently. I have a right to ask that. I have a right to say that based off of what I see, you don't represent me and I have no desire for you to do so. I have that right. Matter of fact, I have that responsibility. And so, you know, there's some, and here's the thing that I have a problem with the whole, I've always had a problem with the whole black girl magic thing. Not because of what you think. Anybody that's followed me also knows that I've been one of the greatest non-female champions of black women. I have gone above and beyond. I've been called simp by certain black men that don't want to be held accountable. I've even had black women approach me and say, take it easy on the brothers because of how hard I've went for black women. So I reserve the right to sit up and express an opinion. My opinion about black girl magic isn't that I don't think black women are exceptional. It isn't that I don't think that black women are phenomenal. It isn't that I don't think black women are second to none and there's no parallel to them. It is that I think the term diminishes and marginalizes the sacrifice that our women make to be exceptional. I think when you put magic on something, it makes it seem like it really doesn't take effort. They're just magically that good. They're just magically. No, they aren't. Now, I understand it and I don't fight it, but just my thing is, I see the sacrifice and the hurt and pain based on what I do. I see what's underneath the high-performing black females that are struggling with depression, high-performing black females that are struggling with trauma, the high-performing black females that on the surface look like they have it all together, but underneath are falling apart. So I know what they're going through to present to you the finished product that you take for granted when you sit up and say it was magically produced. That's my personal opinion. But if you have that idea about black girl magic, then I go to it and I look at it from when it was first introduced, and that was a connotation for black girl magic that stood for excellence. It stood for a standard of high performance. It meant that you were getting the best that was out there to be offered. And now black girl magic is being reduced to the reason you should give someone a pass. She's a black woman. Black girl magic is now being associated with poor performances, hostile performances, and anti-black policies because we want to see a black female in a certain place. I have no problem with that. It'd be wonderful to see a black woman actually in the seat of the presidency. That would just make my day. Not that I believe a whole lot in the presidency itself. It wasn't designed to help us. As a matter of fact, it was designed to hold and protect the wealth and power of a certain group of people that didn't look like us. Matter of fact, the first one of them was a slave owner, and a number after that were slave owners, and many have stood up and backed policies that simply produce slavery by another name. We have never seen one sit in office and completely represent and provide any type of stability for our people. So it isn't the seat, but just the human part of me seeing a black female in that seat and mentally understanding that there will be children looking at that, and by seeing it establish an idea that anything is possible. That would be nice. My thing is, if that's going to be the case, if that's what we're looking for, if we're just simply looking for a symbolic gesture, if we're looking for semantic symbolism, something that just sits up and says anything is possible and not really any tangible returns for our vote, there's still black women that would be a better choice than Kamala Harris. It just simply is. There are at least 5 I can think of that would be a better choice for Kamala Harris. If you're looking for semantic symbolism, if you're looking for just a symbol of something's possible, a symbol of hope, a symbol of accomplishment, if you're looking to live vicariously through the accomplishments of another, there are other women who would be better suited. There are so many things with Kamala, but what I did is, for the critics who said I was tearing down a black woman, I created a very balanced report. I pulled information and data, articles, and assessments from people who were supporters of Kamala Harris to people who are neutral and simply want to look and talk about the facts and the impact of her policies and her actions and her behaviors, as well as those who are adamantly and emphatically against her based off of the same facts and actions and past records. I put it compiled it all in one report. I allowed everyone to speak without interference or an attempt to interpret their assessments. And then I wrote a commentary at the end based on my own knowledge of her and what I see. And I challenge people to take a look at it. My thing is, if you're not willing to literally look at the facts from all angles, then you're not ready to play the game of politics. And I've said this before, one of the biggest failures that we have to own up to, especially when it comes to politics, is that we don't understand it. We don't understand how it works. We see the surface. We see the movement on the surface, and we build our whole world and expectations based on that movement. We have been voting in blocks at an increased rate during every presidential election cycle since 1963. Since the voting rights bill passed. From that subsequent election up until 2012, every cycle, the voter turnout for blacks increased, and yet the returns did not. We are actually moving backwards. Socioeconomically, all the major measures of socioeconomic status, blacks are in last place. Okay, so what does that mean? That means that all that voting on that level, as far as president's concerned, had absolutely no impact on our overall situation, our overall experience, our overall reality. So then we must reevaluate what we're doing. To consistently and continually do the same thing, expecting different results, is absolutely insane. It's ridiculous. We have to sit up and say, okay, it's not working. What we want to do is we want to evaluate things on feelings, because we can adjust our perception based on our feelings to meet the desired result or what we would like to think about our situation. But that's not our reality. Our reality is we're suffering as a people. Our reality is that we often use our talented tenth to suggest that there's more success among us than it is. We have used a black president's 2 terms as an argument that racism no longer exists, while actually we have literally gone backwards during that time because of the fact that institutional racism is more active and influential than ever before. So in essence, we are still dealing with the same things that we were dealing with previously. What am I getting at here? You can get the link out of the description box. Go download the report from our official website for free. Read it, and then follow through with your own research. There are a bunch of links in here that provides more references for you to go to and fact check and look at yourself. There's absolutely no reason to sit up and say, well, I just believe they lying. No, here it is. Go check it out for yourself. There's even video, if you want to go get it, of her expressing in certain behaviors. There are absolutely records laid out that you can track her behavior and her history and how she has handled and dealt with the needs and the concerns of the Black collective that she had the position and power to influence. So that's that. Finally, we have got to do a better job of being actively involved in our community. There's too much going on, and it has become unacceptable, the level of tolerance we have for violence in our community against our women and children. It's become unacceptable, the level of disunity and animosity and vitriol we spew towards one another. That has got to stop. To love one another and to be in unity with one another does not require that we agree on everything. It simply means that we must have a common interest. How we get there, the roles we play, all of that can be highly diverse. What cannot be is we be in a place where we are more dangerous to ourselves than the forces that we complain about. We are going to have to do a better job. We are going to have to be focused. We are going to have to stand up and be accountable. Black men, we've got to reclaim the roles we've abdicated as Black men. We've got to step back in as leaders, as heads. We've got to stop pointing the fingers at somebody else and stop blaming everybody else and sit up and own what we have allowed to happen under our leadership, under our headship, under our kingship and dominion. We have allowed so much to happen, and it's easy to point the finger at poor decision making of Black women. That's the easy way. The bottom line is it happened under our guard, and that can never be changed. We can never claim to be men and not acknowledge when something happens under our guard, under our watch, under our protection. No matter who does it, it happened under our watch. And what I can tell you about our women is while they can be strong-willed, while they can be sometimes difficult, while they are highly expressive, I have yet to meet on a consistent basis a Black woman that when faced with or put in the presence of a strong Black man who knows who he is, who knows how to handle her, who knows how to treat her, that she does not fall in line and walk with him. You got to understand, when you've given a woman a reason to distrust you, you can't be upset with the fact that she doesn't. When you've given her a reason to disrespect you because of the way you carry yourself and the way that you treat her and the way that you neglect your kids, you can't be upset. And I'm not saying it's all men. Obviously, it's not all Black men. But we've got a problem in our community, and we need to deal with it. I'm calling you out. I'm challenging you. We have got to do better. That is absolutely the end. We can sit up and talk about racism. We can sit up and talk about discrimination. We can sit up and talk about mass incarceration. We can sit up and talk about the lack of academic and economic opportunity. We can talk about all of those. They are actual, factual realities. But until we take our responsibility for standing up and being what we can be each and every day, to take on these different enigmatic issues with an intent to solve them, with an intent of paving a road that will be easier for our progeny to travel, we are failing our people. I'm challenging everyone. It's time to stand up. On that note, I'm going to check out there. Like I said, don't forget, support the work we're doing. Become a part of the solution. Become engaged and involved, if nothing else but by supporting us. But we would love to have you on board, being actively involved in the stuff we're doing in the community. We also are asking for those people who need help and resources, refer them to us. If we have the capacity to meet it, we'll meet it immediately. If not, we will keep working until we find a way to get it done. So on that note, I'm out of here. There's so much to be done, people. It's time to put in the work. On that note, peace.